Welcome to Brown's neighborhood. We back in the neighborhood again. We got Ricardo. Ricardo, you growed up in East LA?
Yes, sir.
How was it growing up in East LA?
It was normal.
Was it normal?
Uh-huh.
Any gang activity?
Not that I saw, but I did hang out with the homies.
You did hang out
Yeah.
with the homies a little bit.
They wanted to jump me in, but they knew my father and who he was. He helped the community.
So your father kind of kept the wolves off you a
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah, well, that's good to have a father that can have a reputation and, keep you safe. You know what I'm saying? Because back then, I mean, man, that's even further back than when I was a young man and gang banging was really heavy. So how old are you, Ricardo, so people know how old you are?
I'll be 77 this July.
Be 77. Like I said, in Brown's neighborhood, we don't have no age limit, no color line, because somebody's life story can always touch somebody. And that's why a lot of times I like to do this here podcast, because people can hear real life stories. When they do them over there in the big leagues, sometimes it don't get down to be real life. So this is real life down here, what we doing.
Is.
So what elementary did you grow up in, elementary school you went to?
I went to City Terrace Elementary School. Then I went to Breed Street.
So City Terrace Elementary is like on what street?
On City Terrace Drive. It was before they built the new school. They had the old building. It was built back in the 30s, I believe. Because the doors had those old-fashioned skeleton key locks.
Those skeleton key locks.
Uh-huh. That's how far back it went, that building.
Right. Then at the terrace, then where you went?
I went to Breed Street School on Breed Avenue.
Is it still existing
Oh,
today?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Still there. Man, these schools be here when we get out of here. Them schools be still standing.
They're the old ones that were built back in the day.
So did you go to high school?
Yes, I did. I went to Woodrow Wilson Junior High School. It was a senior high school also.
Or was it?
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, did you have any tough times? Or was life like real easy for you?
No, not really. I had a hard time in school.
Why is that?
When I was 6 years old, I believe, yeah. My parents, I don't know where they went. It was a hot summer day, and they left me with my uncle. He used to drink. He was an alcoholic. And he molested me. And after that, I just had a hard time in school.
Did you tell your parents?
They knew.
You think so?
They saw the change in me, the way I was acting.
But do you think they knew something happened?
Yes.
Did they do anything to it? Did they talk to him?
Later on, my grandmother talked to me. She found out. And she said, don't worry about your uncle. He's going to have a terrible demise, because you have to understand what he did to you, they did to him and his child.
Oh, so it happened to him, and so now he done got older.
Yeah, because you're not born doing that.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Well, because children are like an audio-visual machine. They hear and see everything that goes on.
So this happened at 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's very young. That's like a kid in the first grade.
And then at the age of 8, they took me to a child psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm.
And I was way ahead of her, because she was asking me questions, and I'm looking at her and smiling. I said, why don't you get down to it and ask me what you really want to know?
Is that right?
Yeah, because I knew what was happening.
Right.
Because one time I went shopping with my mom, and I yanked out her skirt, and I asked her, Mom, why is that man dressed like a woman? And she looked at me like that. She goes, how did he know?
Right.
His name must have been Chloe.
So at 8 years old, you already kind of knew what was going on.
Yeah, and that's it's not normal for a child.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're actually trying to think like a child and trying to be like an adult. So I got another psychiatrist, and he helped me a lot. Because they say when that happens to children, they grow up doing it. No.
So the first psychiatrist was trying to beat around the bush, and you just told her, hey, ask me what you really want to know.
Yeah. She asked me, do you hurt yourself? And I'm like, I look at my husband, no.
So what made you get a new psychiatrist?
I had my parents talk to the supervisor.
Oh, you did?
Somebody who's got more years. 'Cause she looked very young.
So it was a lady.
Mm-hmm.
So you end up getting a male psychiatrist. And how long did that last dealing with that psychiatrist?
A year and a half.
A year and a half? Did it help you?
Yes, it did.
Oh, it did. Good, good.
But he told me that in order to get over it, you have to forgive the person who hurt you and get on with your life.
So just imagine, this is only maybe like telling a young man that's only 10 years old. You'll have to grow up really quick and get your mind together, because these things still exist, and and some people sweeping it under the rug and we don't even know it, you know what I'm saying?
You can't do that.
Yeah, so we got to pay attention to that
And
with these young kids today.
And my father helped me a lot. He bought me a lot of heat kits and Ravel. I put a lot of things together. I kept my mind busy.
Okay, so Dad was really trying to take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
What did your dad do for a living?
He was a foundry worker.
A foundry worker?
Uh-huh. He made iron objects.
Oh, yeah?
Him and his father came to this country when they were poor. My father first started working in Mexico at the age of 9 in a bakery.
So what city is your father come here from? Mexico?
He's from Agua Prieta, Sonora, Dark Water, Sonora. Yaqui Indian.
And what city is that in?
In Mexico.
Is that in Mexico?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And my mother and her mother, they're from Spain. And my grandmother is black. I don't know how that happened, but I'm very proud of that.
So your grandmother is what?
She's African American.
Is that right?
Uh-huh.
And your mother was from Spain?
Yeah, they're both from Spain. Yeah, she was Snow White with black hair. She was born, yeah. Oh, and my grandfather, he was Spanish too, with green eyes, light skin. So I guess his genes were more predominant. But my mother had those characteristics. She was a beautiful woman. They both were.
So your dad got here and he went to work, being positive and making something of his life.
Yeah. He worked for an Italian man. This man, he helped him get his paperwork, him and his father. And he gave him a job of delivering 5 cars from Monday to Friday, one for each day.
Oh, yeah?
He would just give him the ignition key, and the spare tire was in the back of the car in a duffel bag.
So once you got to high school, how was high school for you?
It was really shaky. They sent me to a special school, high school, Jackson Junior High.
I remember Jackson. The reason
for
why
troubled young boys. And I'm looking and I'm like, the majority of them are homies. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm in the right place.
And so there was a lot of homies down there at Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Did they have any animals and things at Jackson?
No. But when I left, I did 2 semesters there. I got nothing but A's and B's. I was getting B's and F's in junior high in Wilson.
And you was getting what kind of grades at Jackson?
I was getting good grades.
Is that right?
The teachers were more, they were on you. They just didn't let you go, Oh, he missed the answer. No, these teachers were good. Especially the agriculture teacher.
Well, just to put it on the record, my brother was a bad young man named Philip Brown. And he ended up going to Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He ended up traveling all the way from the city and had to go all the way to East LA to Jackson. Wow. A lot of kids that was bad, in junior high, whatever, they end up going to Jackson High School.
And the principal, Mr. Wilson, his wife happened to be the principal of Reed Street School. He looked at my record and he goes, A's and B's. Now you can get this when you go back to your school. He gave me a baseball and a tetherball.
So you did, being at Jackson for a while, you went back to the public school, So you made it back over there.
I failed the 12th grade once, but I didn't want to drop out. I wanted to get my high school diploma.
Did you get it?
Yes, I did. I graduated. And I went to East LA Junior College to take up computers.
So you went over there to ELAC. So ELAC been there a long time.
Oh, yeah. Been there for the longest time.
Wow. East LA College. Wow, he's 77. And so East LA been there for quite a while. How long did you stay over there at East LA?
Till I graduated. Then I joined the Air Force.
Oh, is that right? So who encouraged you to go to the Air Force?
To travel. It turns out that my skills were needed in the administrative department, so they made me an administrative specialist. I could type 109 words a minute at that time.
Is that right?
Yeah, I was good.
Is that so? Who told you about the Air Force?
My counselor.
Oh,
He
in
said,
college.
"You have good skills." You know, he said, "You're not ground material. You're office material." I told him, "Oh, pencil pusher." I go, "Yep."
Is that right? So you went in. Mm-hmm. How many years you?
4 years.
You did 4 years.
I'm not gonna lie to you, but my supervisor, Colonel Etchemendi, he said, "You've been here for 3 months and you're doing a great job, Airman." He goes, "You're going to become a buck sergeant. You're going to become the first Mexican-American who makes a buck sergeant in 6 months." And I'm like, "No." I go, "Yeah, he can do it." But it didn't happen. It happened a year later. I was in no hurry. 2 stripes was enough for me.
Was
3,
it?
yeah, because 3, I wouldn't want the workers that worked. I had 15 people working under me. I didn't want them to think that I had all that authority. I treated everybody the same equally.
So
There was no yelling or nothing.
So the more stripes, the more work on you, more people up under you. So you were striving in the Air Force. You was doing good. Mm-hmm. Did you get an honorable discharge?
Yes.
So you got on out of the Air Force. Now it's time to come back home.
I became there was a 6-unit apartment. They needed a manager, so I went and applied for it, and I got it. Back then, the rent was $148 a month.
$148 a month rent. So you know how times was then. So now
Money was good.
you became apartment manager. Mm-hmm. How old were you at that time?
I was 30-something years old.
30-something years old. So any experiences while you over here in this apartment?
I lived there for like 6 years.
Did you meet anybody while you was there?
Yeah, Rita. I lived with her for like 20 years. She had my son Daniel. She already had twins from her first live-in, and they were beautiful, Stephen and Michael.
Hold on 1 minute. You became a manager of this apartment.
And she lived in the corner house.
So you was able to see the corner house.
Mm-hmm. Because the apartments were right in the back. It was a huge property, and what was back there, they tore down and they made an apartment.
So how did you meet Rita?
She was out there back one morning in the backyard throwing the trash, and I come out and I looked at her and I said, "Good morning." And she looked at me all crazy. She goes, "Good morning." And we just started talking.
And that became your woman? Mm-hmm. For how long?
20 years.
Woo, that's a long time. Y'all had one kid together.
A prefab family. The twins were 2 years old. Oh, God, the terrible twos. I had to lock everything
So
up.
she did have a couple of kids already.
Mm-hmm, they were twins.
And y'all was together 20 years. Was that 20 good years or was it 20 years of ups and downs?
It was a dysfunctional relationship. She did drugs. She did cross tops, smoked weed. She did acid in her heyday, and she was a chain smoker. I'd buy a carton of Cool 100s. I'd buy it on Monday. By Thursday, gone.
So when you met her, was she doing all these drugs and things then? She was doing all that then, and you still wanted her.
I was drinking, so I said, "The hell with that."
You fell in love? Were you in love?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you fell in love, and she was doing drugs.
But then it got crazy. No, I let it get crazy because one time I asked her, "Rita, you should really cut down on your smoking." And she looked at me and said, "Well, why don't you mind your own business?" So that gave me the green light to drink more.
What?
Yeah.
She said, "Mind your own business," and you start drinking more.
And then she tried to blame it on me that the child was born with a lot of birth defects. His ear canals were closed. He needed like 15 operations.
Who needed 15 operations?
My son. He was born with a lot of. Her water broke on the 7th month, I think, or 6th. Mm-hmm. The pamper was bigger than the baby than him. I had to hold him like this.
So it was premature.
Yeah, very. Miracle he lived.
So that household was dysfunctional. So what made you decide that it was over? So now you became. Did you become an alcoholic?
I was an alcoholic, a full-blown, a functioning alcoholic. I was working.
So even though you was an alcoholic, you was a functional alcoholic. And then did y'all decide to break up or what? How did that go?
When I went to prison for mayhem.
Okay, now if you went to prison for mayhem, now it's time to tell me how did all that happen? Now how long were you in the relationship with Rita before this happened?
After 20 years.
After 20 years, y'all separated.
No. We were still together.
You were still together, but it was more at the end of the relationship.
Right.
Now tell me the story of how this mayhem happened.
I got up with a very bad hangover, and I wanted to move around, exercise, so I went to Lincoln Park.
What street is Lincoln Park on?
On Lincoln Avenue, I believe. It's Valley Boulevard turns this way.
Yeah, I know where it is now, yeah.
And I bought an Old English 800.
A bottle or a can?
Yeah, a bottle. The 40 ounce, yeah.
Oh, you got a 40. See,
Yeah.
I was going to say, Old English come in a bottle?
Mm-hmm.
So you got you a 40.
Yeah. And that one running around, walking, and the beer, it turned on me inside, so I went to the bathroom. I had to go to the bathroom. And I walked in, it was empty. Then somebody walked in. It was a dude, he had jogging shorts. He was all dressed up in a jogging outfit. And he went to piss. The toilets were here, and the urinal was on the opposite side. Mm-hmm. He turns to look at me, and he does like that. And I'm like, the hell?
He does like, what's up?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He waves, and I'm sitting there, and 5 minutes, top 6 minutes, he comes back. He does the same thing, and I'm like, this isn't right.
So wait a minute now, so I can get this right. He came in, he used the urinal. He left. You were still there.
Yeah.
He came back in.
And he left. And then the third time, he didn't go to the urinal. He went to the shitter opposite from me, the side one. And I'm like, it started bringing up red flags about what happened to me. And I'm saying to myself, this is bullshit. This is not going to happen again.
So what did he say that made you know it was a red flag?
He didn't say anything. He came out of the stall. He had nothing on from the bottom. He took everything off.
He didn't have no drawers on.
No, and he told me to suck his dick. I told him, all right, keep point. That park was very popular for gangbang activity. I had a steak knife in my sock.
Yeah, it was
and
a
I
lot
had
of
shorts on
gangbang.
too, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, keep point. Don't look at me. Keep your eyes on the door. I pulled the knife out and I grabbed this shit and
You grabbed what?
this Johnson, and I shut it all down. I cut it up and I threw it in there. You fucked with the wrong person.
What?
But I'll tell you one thing, I won't do that again.
Well, I mean, if somebody come at you the wrong way, you might have to, you know.
Not what happened to me. I said to myself, that is not going to happen again.
Right. So, man.
And I went to
how did you after that happened, how you get out of there?
I had a good lawyer. $9,000 bought me. They wanted to give me 18 to life. He was a Jewish lawyer. He knew what he was doing. He goes, you're going to get a 35-day observation at Chino.
Did you take out, after it happened, did you take out running?
No, I went and I called 911.
Oh, so you called 911?
Yeah, I told him there's somebody here bleeding profusely. I didn't want him to die. I was just trying to teach him a lesson. You don't do that to people, especially people who have been hurt.
So they end up taking you to jail.
I was looking at 18 years to life because mayhem is up there with murder, first degree.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Chino for a 40-day observation. She was a beautiful middle-aged woman, black woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I'm going to tell you everything that happened to me from the beginning to the end. And I did. I put my cards on the table. I'm not going to lie. I was fighting for my freedom. At the end, she reached for a tissue from the tissue box to dab her eyes. She goes, I guess I must have touched her heart. I don't know. Because she goes, You're the first man who sat here and spilled his guts to me. She knew I was telling her the truth because I never broke eye contact.
You was letting her know the whole story of your life.
And then here comes the big one. I went to court for sentencing. The judge is sitting up there, well, the defendant Rice, and he's reading my report, reading it, and he looks at me like this, reads some more, and he says, "You're the first man who's come to me who saved himself of years of prison. 5 with half." And I'm like, I said, "Thank you, Jesus."
So you got 5 with half time.
I did 2.5 years.
And you got out.
I did it at Soledad. God, that place was...
How was it in Soledad? How did you survive in Soledad?
I used my skills. I went to the office and I got an office job as a clerk in the program office.
Is that right? So you was working it while you was down there in Soledad. Stayed out of trouble.
Yeah, I didn't want to become institutionalized.
That's right. And you got out of there. So when you got out of there, where did you go?
My sons picked me up, Stephen and Michael, my twins with twins.
So those twins that you had with Rita?
Yeah, they were grown already. They were teenagers.
So you had 2 twins. You had twins and Daniel with Rita. Okay, well you was at it. You and Rita was getting down.
No, the twins were from her first marriage. Well, her first live-in husband.
But they helped you when you got out.
Yeah.
So they treated them like they were your children. And they was there for you like a father when you got out.
Then we both continued doing what we were doing, and I told her this is not going to work.
So you went back to Rita.
And we just broke up.
How long did you stay with her once you got out?
When I helped her move to, was going towards, around the Alhambra area. You had to cross the railroad tracks to get there. It was a nice neighborhood, nice homes. Then after 2 months, I told her, you know what, I can't do this anymore.
Took only 2 months after getting out. You couldn't handle it. So where did you go to live?
With my parents.
So you went back home to Dad. And how long did you stay there?
Not too long. I didn't have.
When you got out from that mayhem situation, you didn't have no parole?
Yes, I did. I had parole for 2 years.
Just 2 years?
Yeah, because I would show up the way I'm dressed.
Nice, clean. And you got off of parole. So when you left your dad's house, where were you headed next?
I was working at Sears Roebuck in their warehouse.
Over on Olympic at that time?
Yeah, the old building.
Is it still there?
Oh, yeah. Still standing.
You don't think they're going to tear that place down?
If we had a good-sized earthquake, we would only experience cosmetic damage, but not structural. Those buildings in those days were built like castles.
Yeah.
Cement and steel.
Right. Yeah, those buildings was built for real. Oh, like General Hospital here.
It was built on 12 rollers.
So you was working down there at Sears. How long did you stay there?
2 years, I believe.
What made you leave then? Well,
It got slow.
It got slow. Okay.
So I figured I'll go into the security business. I've been a security guard. That was funnier than hell.
Why was it funny?
I was working for district security at that time. And after that, I got off at 11, my post. So I went to the bar, I had a couple. I don't know how many I had, but I got roaring drunk. This was on Whittier Boulevard. I was doing 120 miles an hour because I saw that all the lights were green.
You were driving 120 miles an hour?
I have a 1967 Malibu with a 283 engine. That thing.
Yeah, that 283, yeah. You was flowing it.
They stopped me in the front of the Golden Gate Theater. 5 LAPD and 2 highway patrol cars. I got out the car and I was laughing my head off. I still had my sidearm on. I walked into the bar just like that.
And so when they got caught up with you, did they put you in jail?
Yeah, I was laughing and I got off the car and I go, oh, look, he's drunk and he's having a good old time. I didn't give him a fight or nothing. They took the gun from me and everything.
Oh, okay.
At that time, my brother-in-law, my sister's husband, was the LAPD. He was a detective. He went and he spoke up for me.
Okay.
The only thing I had to pay was $125. And I heard one of the cops say, if somebody would have stepped off the sidewalk, this would have been turned into something more serious.
You needed help, man.
Yeah.
Did you get any?
I started going to AA.
You started going to AA.
But I didn't take it seriously.
You didn't?
I didn't take the cotton out of my ears and put it in my mouth to listen. That's what they tell you at the meetings now. Take the cotton out of your ears and put it in your mouth and listen.
So you just got back out, and what you started getting into right after that incident happened? What you started getting into?
Looking for work. I had to pay my rent. I had odd jobs. Security work. I worked at a 99-cent store as a cashier. That didn't last too long.
So when you have a drinking problems bring problems.
Exactly.
So did it bring you any problems?
Well, I didn't go out looking for problems. I wasn't at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Okay, well, you wasn't looking for it, but you was drunk.
Right.
And what happened? Tell it like it is now. Tell it like it is.
Fights, bar brawls.
You was doing all that?
Yeah, we started by me and my friend. We were like Laurel and Hardy. We'd start a brawl and we'd hide underneath the table and sneak.
Man, just cutting up.
Yeah.
After all of that, having brawls down there, man, you lucky somebody didn't kill you.
Yeah.
You start a brawl and a fight, it can always, they can turn out good or bad.
That's why we hid underneath the table.
You was up under the table.
Yeah.
When you started it?
Yeah, we start shit and everybody would start swinging and we'd and sneak out.
Man, look at that. I'm going to start it, and once it get real hectic, I'm going to go up under the table and crawl up out of there.
Yeah.
And let them just keep at it.
We were comedians. Yeah, we were comedians then. Then it got to the point where I just got tired and I just went homeless.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
How long were you homeless?
For a long time.
So, during that homeless time, where were you actually doing homeless time at? Like around what area?
In East LA. The house that I moved into, it was in Whittier. I lived there. And the person who lived there, his name was Crow, and his rent started getting really high. So I told him I can't afford this.
So while you was homeless, did your dad help you out a little bit?
Yeah, he did.
So you get any trouble while you was homeless?
That's what you don't want to do.
Why? Well, why not?
No roof over your head. And actually, there was nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. That's right.
So just keep your nose clean.
So what did you do to find, a place to live again?
I was living in a halfway house.
So this is the question. You went 10 years homeless. I mean, I don't even know if it's 10. You was homeless for a while. How you going to get in a halfway house without getting in trouble?
I didn't until I moved in.
You just moved in a halfway house?
Yeah.
Without no trouble?
No.
Wow, ain't that something?
One of the guys, he knew Art from our house. He called me and said, this guy's looking for a place to live because he can't stay here anymore.
And then what did you do after you couldn't stay there no more?
I went to Union Station, and Crow gave me Art's number, and I called him. He said, where are you at? I go, I'm at Union Station in the front. So I'll go pick you up. And the rest is history.
So you started living with Art?
No, with Eugene's house. Art lived there already.
I lived at Eugene's place. And then you end up going to Eugene's. He got you in. Were you on parole or anything?
I had just gotten off.
Oh, you had just gotten off parole for cutting that man up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how was it at Eugene's place?
It was clean. That's the first thing I looked at. No holes in the wall. It was clean. There were some people who were using.
Few people using, but it was better than being homeless.
Homeless, yeah.
Or in that halfway house.
And the second year that I stayed there, I really took advantage of it, and I said, I'm going. I said, fuck it. So I started drinking. So that was a big no-no.
So your second year over at Eugene's place, you decided, I'm going to start drinking again.
I passed out in the back of the smoking area, and here comes Michael, he was a 5150. He took psych meds. Mm-hmm. He goes and he runs and tells Eugene, Richard's dead. Eugene goes back there, he looks at me and goes, he's not dead, he's dead drunk. When I woke up, I said a lot of things that were really out of character.
Well, what were you saying? Now, we know
I was drunk.
You were saying all kind of crazy stuff. It's okay to say it. It ain't nothing wrong with it. You were drunk. You were talking to who? Eugene? Talking crazy to Eugene. For what reason?
Because I was stupid. When alcohol, if you have a drinking problem, alcohol intensifies your personality and turns you into an asshole.
And you start talking.
And I called him that 4-letter word, and I hated myself for that.
You called him a nigga? Well, you know.
And I threatened the cops that arrested me.
They arrested you for what?
For being drunk. You can't drink in that house.
Oh, you couldn't drink in that house?
You can't. You can't drink at Eugene's. It's drug-free. It's transitional. The word transitional means change.
Right. So they took you on to jail. When you went to jail, what happened?
I came out. They put me on probation for 5 years. And my conditions were that I had to go to AA 3 times a week. I started going, and I liked it. So that I went all week. 6 days a week, Saturday. It's closed on Sundays.
So you, instead of you going 3, you went 6. Yeah. Every day?
Every day.
Except Sunday.
Now, in the 6th week, they made me secretary for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday's meeting because they liked the way I would speak. I wasn't feeding them bullshit. How are you going to feed bullshit to people who want to get well, who want to hear somebody?
So you was getting up speaking?
Yeah,
You were speaking positive stuff?
Yes.
You was ready for change then? To change your life?
Yeah. And the rest is history. Look at me. You should see my room. You're going to say, like Mr. Bailey said, this is your room? I've got it. It looks like a home, a lived-in home.
That's right. So, okay. So now you get 5 years probation. Did you get in any trouble in that 5 years?
In fact, they only tested me twice in those 5 years. And I asked Mr. Hawkins, I noticed that I only tested twice for you, sir. What's up? He looked at me and goes, I know who and what I'm dealing with.
Oh, yeah?
He saw the way I'd go in dressed up, ironed, shoes polished. Everybody else was going in T-shirts and hoodies and all. There's no need for all that. Because if they look at you, you're giving a bad impression of what you're there for or whatever you were doing. Then they're going to want to test you.
So now you went and got 5 years probation. He accepted you back?
Mm-hmm.
After you was talking crazy to him.
I apologize to him, but you see what happened is, I know it's hard to get over something like that. So what I did, I figured actions speak louder than words. Everything I did for the house.
So
I took it upon myself to do it.
So Eugene's a black man?
Yeah, Eugene.
Yeah, no,
Eugene
I'm just asking so the people will know that Eugene's a black man.
Yeah.
So did Eugene ever look out for you?
Yes, he did.
He did. And
he went to court and he spoke to the district attorney and told him,
well,
why do you want to give this man 18 years for? He only got drunk. Give him 5 years probation and give him conditions, and if he doesn't do it.
You mean just because you get drunk, they was going to give you 18 years?
Yeah, terrorist threat. I threatened the police.
Oh,
officers.
See, you didn't say that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So when the police came after you was drunk and started talking crazy, you would talk crazy to the police too. Did you threaten Eugene or the police?
Both of them, I believe.
You threatened both the police too? So now you got a terrorist threat on you. Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
And now you go to court, whatever happened, they wanted to give you 18 years.
And he said, why are you going to give this he's an old man. Give him 5 years probation and give him conditions.
Well, how did Eugene end up even in court?
He went on my behalf.
Oh, so you got a court date.
Uh-huh.
And he went down there to support you.
Him and Art. Art went too.
Art is the one that got you in Eugene's place. So Art was a good friend. Art helped you get in Eugene's place, and now Art is in court on your behalf after you might get 18 years.
That's why I'm blessed. I'm getting wisdom from both sides, from you and from him.
Wow.
And I listen to him. I don't know why.
Say that one more time.
I'm getting wisdom from you and Mr. Hargrove.
Wow.
Because I noticed that you both have the same mentality. And that's the truth.
So you had to go to court. He was going to give you some time. And Mr. Hargrove showed up, him and Art. How did he even get a chance to say anything?
I don't know how he did it, but he did it.
And what did he say?
He told the district attorney, don't give him all that time. Give him 5 years of probation.
He just spoke up for you like that?
Because I was in jail for 3 months.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Wow. So you wasn't out. You was in jail. So you went to court from in jail. You wasn't out on no bail or nothing like that. These people just showed up for you. Now, you sure need to be thanking God did,
I'm very grateful.
Because these people ain't even kin to you. and they showed up at court and spoke on your behalf.
And that said a lot about Mr. Hargrove. He's not a hateful man. He's a loving person.
Yeah, man.
Like you.
And he spoke and asked the people, could they give you 5 years probation?
And that's what I got.
Because he knew you was a good man.
When I'm sober, yes.
Yeah, well,
anybody is. And after that, I told Eugene that I told him that actions speak louder than words. I can't take back what I said, you know.
Right, that's right.
But my actions worked.
And the judge granted you 5 years of probation. Have you done that 5 years yet?
Yeah, I did it all. It's behind me now.
It's behind you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. God is good anyway.
Yeah, I'm blessed. We're all blessed. We're doing good things. And I look at it this way. I need a stent in my heart, one of my heart valves, because I didn't want to tell anybody in the house. But one time I was coming back from the store, I had to stop and hold on to the telephone pole. Because I started, like my mouth was getting filled with like water, and my chest was hurting. That happened several times. And I look up and I say, it's not my time, please, I need more time.
You was talking to God.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
A year and a half ago.
A year and a half ago.
I still get it sometimes. It's like a pressure in my chest. I go, yeah, Lord, please, not yet. But I can't do that. It's up to him. But I look at it this way. All the shit that I've done in my life, and now that I've changed a whole new leaf, he's not all that bad. I don't need him yet. That's the way I see it. And I'm going to continue doing it. I don't care if my knee is killing me. The hell with the knee. I'm taking that with me when I die because that's original equipment. I don't want no stent in my heart, in my valve.
You don't?
No.
Why?
I believe in God.
Wow.
If he wants me, here I am. And I also do this. Richard, be very careful in what you do. Don't do anything wrong. That's when I'll get it.
Right, so you did.
Because karma is beautiful. Oh, karma exists.
Yeah, so you just taking it easy.
I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. All good. Help the guys here.
Right. Yes, sir.
I love them all. At first, when I first started coming here, I'm like, oh, it's too loud here. And then I finally realized I'm at the right place. I'm with my kind of people.
Down here at Brownstone Wellness Center. Man, I sure thank you for that, too. And it's a blessing to have you down here at the center.
I love coming here.
Wow.
Rosie comes up to me one time and goes, I need a hug. Can you hug me? I go, sure, dear. You got that coming from me. I hug everybody here. They ask for a hug. Wow. I tell them, when's the last time you had a hug? And this was Gary. I mean, what's the name? He likes to be called Gary, the skinny Mexican boy with long hair. They cut his hair. Johnny cut his hair recently.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I've been watching him and I'm noticing him, and he has the mind of a 9-year-old, and he's 30. But he knows wrong from right.
Right.
And he has a conversation. Sometimes it'll come out of left field. And one time he told me, did you know, Richard, that rocks fall out of the sky with precious metals and stones? And I'm like, yeah, meteors, and they heat. So there's some logic to him. He knows right from wrong.
That's good.
And I'm always talking to him. Him, his roommate, Pablo, and Brandon.
So let me ask you a question. You was able to get out of doing 18 years. How long you been with Eugene?
This year will be 11.
11 years?
11 blessed years.
Wow. So you was about 66 when you went to Eugene.
Yeah.
And you've been doing great.
No, I messed up. And I went and told the back house manager what I've been doing. And he looked at me and says, are you going to do it? Are you going to continue doing it? I go, no. And I went and I told Eugene. And Eugene looks at me like that. You're going to stop, aren't you? I hope. I go, yes.
What you was doing? Who you were? How old were you? Or how long ago had that been?
2 years, 3 years ago?
You sure don't need to be doing no math. You already 70. You going to wait till you 70. No, your body don't need that. How long did you do it?
Not too long, because
about a month. Who gave it to you?
I bought it. I'm not going to take the fifth. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I just bought it.
So you only used it for about a couple of months, and you say, well, you should.
It was a form of escape because I was in denial. I go, why can't I drink like a normal person? But then I started thinking, all in moderation. No, that doesn't work either if you have an addictive personality. No.
Right.
Just leave it alone.
Just leave it alone. but you already know that your heart wasn't doing too, you don't want to go, you need a stent, and you're going to go try some crystal.
Oh, I'm still here.
You
but
sure
I'm not
are.
doing it again.
No, that's right. Well, God got his hand on you because, the Bible says he promised 70, and that's 70 years.
And he threw me a gang of rope to hang myself with, and I didn't hang myself.
You didn't hang yourself,
I
and
left
you
it
still
all back
going.
to him, yeah.
I want to say this so people will know. Ricardo come down to the center every day, and he get up. He dresses real nice. I mean, he take very good care of himself for his hygienes and things of that nature. It's impressive, you know what I'm saying? Because most people, they get older, they don't want to take care of themselves. They don't, be clean. It ain't like you got no in-home service person taking care of you and none of that. You're doing all this yourself. So I want to say, man, you always come in, you match, you look nice and stuff like that. So that's a blessing, And it's good to see, and I'm sure other people are looking at you, you know what I mean? And they're younger, So it's a positive. You're a positive figure around here at 77 years old.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for coming on the Browns Neighborhood podcast because, we want people to be blessed from the podcast and know that even through the toughest of times, we still can make it,
Yeah.
And we're going to need God at all times, see? You kept a hold of God.
Help yourself and he will help you.
Say that one more time.
In Spanish, ayúdate y él te ayudará. Help yourself and he will help you.
That's right. See, a lot of people just want God to do it, and they don't want to put no help into it.
And if you can't find a window or a door, leave it in his hands and ask him.
Wow.
It works.
Hey, with getting out of here and getting out of the podcast, we said some great things right there at the end, and as we always like the people to know that we believe in God and we put God first in everything.
And it's never too late to start all over again.
That's right. That's right.
Think about your future and forget about your used to be. Mick Jagger, imagine.
That's right. Man, I thank you for coming on here and opening up and being expressive. But it's a blessing, If it can bless one person, man, that's a whole lot.
I hope it does help people.
Yeah, it will. Because sometimes people don't hear real stories. And over here, this neighborhood podcast, we want to be real with the people. You know what I'm saying? So I want to thank you for coming.
It was a joy being here.
Yes. This is Brother Ricardo, and we're going to get out of this Browns Neighborhood podcast, but we will be back. And being said, we want to say God bless.